Daisies made me feel so good. So good. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
I,
The show must go on.
oh, wow.
I say that from a corner in my bedroom.
For me, Daisies empowered me, but what does that record do for you? And I want to dive into the lyrics because, I mean, it's just, to me, it was like an I Told You So record, a redemption song.
I don't know if it's like I told you so, but I would agree with the redemption song. I mean, look, when you first start out in your career or in your dream or even having a dream when you're younger, your friends and your family sometimes can be skeptics or critics, and the eye rolls and the commentary starts, and that never stops. It just gets larger and larger and larger the bigger the stage or the bigger the career or success. And so, you know, some days I feel like I am starting all over again. Even in this quarantine, I feel like I'm starting all over again. I'm doing things like I used to do things when I was running like Friendster and MySpace and YouTube and Vimeo. I was just like Mission Impossible with all my stuff, being my own everything, you know, checking all the boxes. But
There's fearlessness that comes with that, right? When you have, like, when you're kind of doing it all and it's at your fingertips and you're responsible for it all.
well, yes, there is, but there's a lot of fucks. There's a lot of fucks coming out of my mouth. But I know that it's worth more than the F's that are spewing out of my mouth, or that I've yesterday I was filming things till 2 a.m., you know, trying to like smile though your heart is breaking. And
Literally.
I mean, because you know, the funny thing is like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put out this record in August because the truth of the matter is, I have a baby coming, and when the baby comes, I'll be going into my own version of quarantine, and you know, that might last pretty long until I just want to give it space, and God knows I'll have so much inspiration to write about the next go around. So I was like, I've been making this body of work for 2 years. People want to dance in the streets at some point this summer when it's safe. I'm going to help and provide some kind of soundtrack. And yeah, I mean, I think for me, but the realization is that like, okay, I said, yes, let's go, let's start. But it's like, everyone's like, okay, great. So we need this, that. Like all the asks are still there. It's just, you got to do them yourself. And so I'm like uploading things to Dropbox for like 2 hours. I'm like, okay, all right, I can do this. I've never stared more into a screen in my life. And my screen time is, you know,
Probably.
beautiful.
I've been thinking about getting those glasses that filter out the blue, but I don't know if it's bull squash or not.
I don't know, but I mean, I think it's inevitable. It's like if you're trying to operate on any level, but I think what I hope is that Daisies gives people a feeling of like, okay, I've had so much time to reflect. Maybe I took things for granted in my life and put some dreams on the shelf. Look, when they say I can have my freedom back,
You
I'm
go
gonna go
for it.
for it. I'm gonna go for it.
So, like, I want to know timeline here. When did you craft this record? When was it finished, and when did you start it?
I started it in February. I wrote it with a few people. One of them is John Bellion, who's
Oh my God! Human Condition changed my life. That's his second album, game changer for me. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing, and I got to spend 3 days with him, and like the first 2 days, nothing came from us, and it was kind of like it was a bunch of star writers in the room, and we're like, wow, we've done so much, but we can't figure it out. And this is kind of toward the end of me writing my record, and I felt like I had said everything I needed to say. And so I was kind of like, I don't know, there's not a message coming out of me. And then finally this came out on the third day, and it was such a wild process. Like we had a wild session. Actually, we were all eating and taking a break from writing Daisies, and John Bellion choked on some cauliflower. And like literally was choking, and the guys from Monsters and Strangers, who are producers, writers,
Massive.
yeah, they were there as well, and Jay Cash was there, and he started choking and he started turning blue, and finally one of the guys came and gave him the Heimlich, and we were all screaming, and it was wild, and like it was, and John had like a real intense moment. He was like, man, it was real. So we have like this kind of like life altering moment when we were talking about like pushing up daisies. It almost got a little too real. But he came back from it, and we're all healthy and alive. And
By the way, for a life altering song, this like because again, the way I'm hearing it is like I want to. The lyrics are so
Devil
powerful,
Carter, he didn't want that song out there.
but like who didn't?
No, I was like, the forces of evil didn't want Daisy.
Oh, yeah. The universe was whole, getting with the cauliflower, but like maybe there was larger forces that don't want to hear these lyrics because they're brutally honest. Uh, like when you're talking about, I guess you're out of
I guess you're out of your mind till
on
it
my
happened.
notes because I wrote my notes on my computer that ran out of internet. I had to snap a photo on my way out. Told them your dreams and they all started laughing. I guess you're out of your mind until it actually happens. I mean, you start the song that way, and that is a powerful. That it just sets it up powerfully. Like, who are you speaking to? Who, when you sing it, or when you're writing it, or in the booth doing it, do you picture one thing? Do you see someone?
I picture myself younger. I feel it today. I mean, like I didn't know I wrote those lyrics today, and my dream. I didn't know when writing those lyrics in February that my dream today would be even to try and put out music, and like have all these obstacles and so much uncertainty and so much unknown, and being pregnant and like having that level of uncertainty along
Yeah.
with it. I mean, I had no idea that it was just going to be like, phew, 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 phew. But I mean, I guess it speaks to a younger self for me. And I know that feeling, and I feel it even when I'm mentoring kids on the American Idol show. I can see it in their eyes. Absolutely. And,
Mm.
it's funny. I do come up with absurd dreams, and people are like, well, logistically and scientifically, it just doesn't exist, or it doesn't, you can't do it, or, it's
All of your artistic creations, like
yeah. So I'm still faced with that. And I mean, the kind of stuff that lands on the kind of comments that land on my socials are wild. So like, I don't really scroll down and read those anymore.
Yeah.
It's a combination of both amazing and encouraging, and just like utterly horrific, like you should get cancer and die on the daily. Oh yeah, it's wild, and it has
Fun.
been for 10 years,
Yeah.
or more, or I guess whenever the internet started allowing comments. That's why you see a lot of people don't allow comments, because it's just like the wild, wild west. So every day it's a choice for me to let that noise in or tune it out. And I think what Daisies is about saying, F off. I'm going to stay true to my path.